Hello, this is my day one progress, approximately 24 hours after league start here, a little bit more than that. I am playing in the trade uh, chat SF, so this is my first time playing trade intentionally in a very long time. I've been able to amass some currency, not too much. I've been rolling a couple of jewels here or there, trying to get some decent fizz dot since I am playing a fizz dot build. And then I had been going for shields. I'm still going for shields, but in its place I'm currently using a spell shield like this to increase my DPS. The build is of course a champion. I just did my Uber Lab not too long ago, so I got a huge damage spike from getting inspirational. This makes my banner costs have no aura reservation, and I currently run Malevolence, Tempest Shield, which I just added to the build, Herald of Purity, War Banner, Pride, and a low level Vitality. And then I'm also running the Hardy wheel over here, and then this new wheel that they added, which is Surge of Vigor. And then I'm currently taking all the aura nodes that I can. The only one that I don't take is the Area of Effect, because that just really affects Pride. It doesn't really change anything for me. Once my Pride levels up and I can flip it, I can get the AoE because of the quality, and 40% AoE versus 12. That point is dead weight. Some of the other pathing that you can do here is you can take the 2 points here, drop this point. There's just some weird stuff that you can do to path around here. So if you had more HP and could sacrifice a point, we do pick up the mana reservation over here, and then I'm going for the block. I'll be picking up this block node, and then I'll be coming over here and getting Versatile Combatant. And then all I need is either these nodes right here, which I'll probably take because it's just 3 points, and by then I'll probably have all of my stats figured out. And then with this, all I need is either Tempest Shield or a 11-5 regular block and spell block roomies, or 12-4 roomies, and you can be 50-50 block spell block, which is really powerful. A lot of people don't use Versatile Combatant, but I'm building this build for Delve, so I have no other way of scaling my damage and getting like spell mitigation. And a big thing that kills this build is physical spells and lightning. So I do have some max res, as you can see from the passive tree. I have the Soul of Steel, and then I can get the additional 1 max res, but I'm currently not wearing Hemophilias, so I'm lacking some max res here as well. My current max res is 77, 76, 76. I have no chaos res because that just doesn't exist right now for me, which isn't too much of a problem other than like a few niche scenarios where I've died. And I've been throwing my body at the new league mechanic, trying to learn and understand it. So I have a boatload of deaths. Like, to me this is like 30 more than I would normally have by this point of time. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much the build as a whole. I don't have a +1 amulet. That'll be something that I work towards next. And then getting better rares everywhere else. One way that you can scale fizz dot builds now is with this boot enchant. It does cost Vol Orbs, so I just went with a low tier one for now, until I find a better pair of boots that I actually like. The increased damage with non Vol skills during soul gain prevention. It'll cause everything else, like your corrupting fever and your reap, to do more damage. And then the Vol Reap doesn't really scale up too well. Like Reap will do way more damage than Vol Reap. Vol Reap is kind of just used to give the +4 maximum blood charges and apply a small dot. And then Reap will actually start chunking. It's kind of nice to have a more consistent burst. But you notice that the soul gain prevention is 9.24 seconds. That's because we have it linked up with efficacy, and then we also have it linked up to Swift Affliction. So if I didn't have it Swift Affliction, it would be 12 seconds. So in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be 9.24. If I turn off Malevolence, you can see that drops down to 7.32. So it's just a decent chunk of damage, because basically for that entire window of soul gain prevention, you'll be able to consistently have high blood charges on your reap, so it just boosts your reap damage even higher. And then you have spell damage from like a shield like this, and then scaling minion damage if you ever want to do a minion wand. That can all scale up your damage tremendously. And most of the single target is coming from Reap. Corrupting Fever does about like 10k per stack, so around 100k, and that's before like Pride, because I obviously can't see what the enemies do in game. Because I am going to be a Delver in this private league, I guess I can showcase some of the progress I've made with delving. It delves really well. To be a good low-tier delver, all you really need is solid layers of mitigation, and then on top of that, good recovery for when you want to go into darkness. Obviously, later down the road, you don't want to go into the darkness because darkness farming isn't really a thing at lower depths, but it can be good for like league start. There's so many like fossil div cards and stuff that in a general trade environment, you don't typically worry about, how would you say it? You don't worry about the fossil supply versus demand. And other people can, everyone else can delve in the league too, so it's not like you're out here doing it by yourself. You mostly want to focus on sideways and getting big juicy moves if you're an actual delver. So the single target, it's not the greatest, but we do some damage. And obviously tooltip is way before Pride, and we scale aura effects, so I need to be updating my filter next. Life reservation of skills. Sure. That's not bad. Mana reservation. Phantasm shit? Why not? So that's the build, that's the playstyle. So another thing is you pop adrenaline every time you use Corrupting Fever. Now if you get way too much life and your life cost of Corrupting Fever isn't high enough, then you'll run into problems, but for the most part, even with a 5 link, you'll be able to trigger it. And if you're not triggering it, you can always spec into the, you count as on low life while at 55% of maximum life or below. So you can, that'll help reduce some of the costs if you're only running it on like a 5 link. I cleared all the way up to T10s with just a 5 link using Corrupting Fever, Swift Affliction, Reap, Life Tap, Brutality. It is slow, but so is any other dot build. That's it for me. I just wanted to do a day 1 thing. I'm probably going to be doing like a day 2, day 3, day 4, that kind of stuff. Yep. Thanks, and see you on the next one.